Hello everyone, welcome to 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗧𝗏 Park for this latest instalment of the A4 Derby as 𝗛𝗚 City take on Chippenham Town in 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗏 National League South. It's a contest which rarely disappoints, with 37 goals in their 9 meetings at this level, City enjoying the upper hand as they're unbeaten in the last 8 against the Bluebirds. They return to 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗏 Park on the back of Tuesday's stunning comeback against Bromley in the FA Trophy, where they eventually prevailed on penalties, whereas Chippenham did the reverse, squandering a 2-goal lead in their tie at Torquay as they were ousted from the competition. It was a 4th defeat in a row for Gary Horgan's men, who need to replicate their FA Cup form in a bid to pull away from the dreaded bottom 4. They are winless in 3 months in the league, but they will still prove a tough nut to crack for Jerry Gill's men, as they're sure to come out fighting in this much anticipated Boxing Day clash.
Very special guest today. It's his first return to 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗏 Park on 8th of November, and since his accident, he has been setting himself targets for his recovery. It goes without saying that thanks to this person's character, he is meeting them on a regular basis. One of those things is to return to 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗏 Park for Boxing Day, and so this is the latest stage of his recovery. Please show your appreciation to a player, teammate, and most importantly, our referee. Thank you all very much for our warm reception. It's great to see Alex here today. We just remind everyone he is still recovering, so please give him space and privacy for what's happening to him during the day. Welcome everyone to Alex Thatcher.
We are about to kick off, and I know that Mark Stillman's going to be joining me any second now, and he's just finished his tannoy duties, and we are underway.
Thank you, Andrew. It's Hayfield now striding forward, 25 yards out on the right-hand side to Mannings. It's born on his left foot, but it's comfortably headed away from Tizzard. Mannings, neat footwork. Rains is offering a run in front of him. Still Mannings. And it's hacks away to Dyer near halfway as Lines is fouled needlessly from Young. And City free kick. Lines chips one. Good ball to Wilson. Chips it towards the back post, and in the end is scrambled away from Mayhew. Ebanks tries to get there. Hamilton, personal on ball, not given. To the edge of the box, and Morton's shot takes deflection, but is straight into the hands of Henry. They did not look certain defending that, did the Town defence?
Certainly did. In just 4 minutes, that could so easily have been the opening goal. And good work by Ebanks down the right-hand side.
Good turn away from trouble from Hamilton. Finds Parsons down the line, near the corner flag, turning away from Greenslade. Keeps the ball in play, man on loan from Swindon. Looking for an outlet, he's gone back to Mayhew, ball bobbles a little bit in front of him, but he still manages to play in defeat. Good passing from Chippenham near the edge of the party, and they have found Santos, who's offside. He may have handled it anyway, but he's blasted into the side netting. Now Rains on the right side, receives it off Wilson. Wilson again, in the attacking third. Didn't quite squeeze the ball through, but he's received it back off Lines now in the penalty. Draws it across, and it's a slightly sliced clearance from Tizzard, but straight into the air and straight into the grateful hands of man decked in red, Will Henry.
Yeah, nice ball into the box here by Wilson, and again, could easily have been picked up by one of the City forwards.
Jones, ball thrown to him from Henry on the left-hand side. Couldn't thread it through. Picked up from Hayfield. He turns away from Young. Ball takes a deflection, but it's handy for Ebanks on the right-hand side. Now running towards the byline, away from Eddie Jones, who comes sliding in. It's just too high. Morton's coming in at the far post, but Mayhew is there to clear. There was a bit of a collision in the middle between Hamilton and Ebanks, an accidental one. Although Ebanks is a slight complaint to the officials. City started this game pretty positively. They've enjoyed more of the ball so far in this opening 7.5 minutes, though it's still goalless as Rains. Trickery back to Morton. Dinks one towards the far post. Couldn't quite find Wilson. Right as far as lines now, midway inside the Chippenham half. Over to Rains on the right-hand side. Turns away from Bray, but sort of pulls out the challenge of Jones because he was alert to it. Chippenham have got 8 men or so behind the ball at the moment, trying to soak up this City attacking threat, which are doing well. They're pretty well organised. There's lines. You can often unpick a lock in these situations, but he's forced to go back to Greenslade. City have got like 9 players within 35 yards of the Chippenham goal, but they haven't picked up. Rains on the right-hand side, turns inside, Rains on his left foot, and he completely miscued it. They nearly find Mannings on the far side. Joe Rains, who hasn't scored for exactly 3 years since he did it in this fixture, and he's put that one well wide. Goal kick. Gets in, and Russ plays it over the top. A handy ball, actually. If Bray can keep it in play, which he should do on the left-hand side. He has. Young's made an overlapping run. Young's there, striding forward. Oh, he nearly squeezed in. It was a bit of confusion between Lines and Gould in goal, but in the end, comes back off the keeper and is cleared. Young has stayed down for the time being, and he's just getting back up to his feet now. That was really careless from Bar City defensively, and they're going to have to be alert again now as Parsons picked it out 25 yards out, running central, slipped it behind Young, and the flag this time goes up. 16.5 minutes gone, 0-0 between Bar City and Chippenham Town, first leg of the A4 derbies. Mannings gets a flick on, he's been fouled in the air. Only 30 yards out, he left to central. The Chippenham players aren't too happy. I think they need to check whether Mannings needs treatment, which indeed he does.
Okay.
Saracard dashes on. See if the number 16 is okay. No, picked up from Richards, striding past halfway as well. He's still going with Richards. He was fouled off the ball. The referee's done well. He's gone back to it. There was no advantage. Well, some distance this, going by the position of the wall. It's got to be just over 30 yards. Mayhew fancies it as well. Who's yet to score this season. Young scored a few. Young does take it. Oh, it's a brilliant free kick. It's only around half a yard wide, and Gould had jumped over to his left-hand side. I don't think he had it covered. A terrific effort, and it goes out for a goal kick.
Well, City knew it was coming. Not that far above that crossbar.
To Greenslade on the left-hand side, inside to Wilson. Now to Ebanks, holds off his man. He was holding his shirt board, but he's managed to find Mannings. Now Wilson edge of the box, quite intricate from City, as Ebanks is very quick onto the loose ball. He's done superbly well. Now he finds Rains on the right-hand side. The dangerous one's only half cleared from Tizard. Out to Morton, urged to shoot. There's too many blue shirts in the way. Now Mannings, good sustained pressure on City. Mannings does have a go, he bounces up awkwardly. It's in! The rebound is turned in! Scott Wilson! He was there quickest to the loose ball. Bar City have opened the scoring. He was straight onto it. And he was urged to shoot. He invited their invitation. Bar City 1, Chippenham Town 0.
Well, it was Rex Mannings that really made that. The City have been passing the ball around along that sort of 18-yard line for some time, and Mannings decided, well, he wasn't going to do that any longer. He was going to take a shot at it, and punched it in towards the keeper. Henry unable to hold the ball, it bounced away in front of him, and I'm sure he must have suspected tragedy, and straight away Scott Wilson stepped forward and put it into the net, and City go 1-0 up.
Turns away from trouble, but he's robbed from Young. Now Bray, Young again on the edge of the box, trying to get onto that left foot. He's still working his way across. Now Russ is tripped needlessly from Greenslade. It's going to be a free kick to Chippenham, 25 yards out, and the card is out for Bar City's most cautioned player this season.
Yeah, Greenslade just left his leg there, inviting it for a player to go over it, and indeed he did.
A little bit of a harsh yellow card perhaps, but referee Stephen Parkinson disagrees with me, so Young steps up, low one, good save from Gould down to his right-hand side. He's had a low one, it dipped viciously in front of him, but the goalkeeper, he was slightly worried it might have squirmed underneath his body. It didn't, and it's straight back into his hands.
It's one of those that keepers hate, isn't it? Because it could easily just bobble in front of you. You're just picking it up on that bounce, and he did well to grab it.
And the right side with Wilson just on the edge of the party area. He couldn't quite get away. Chippenham now with Mayhew. Just watching the goal back. Yeah, it's certainly Scott Wilson.
And Wilson there was being grabbed all over the place. I'm surprised the referee didn't whistle for that.
Santos onside on the right-hand side. Gets a ball in. Parsons! Oh, what a header! He's equalised the 28th minute. It was almost behind him. He slides on his knees. Chippenham have responded within 3 minutes. You have to say it's a cracking goal. And it's Bath City 1, Chippenham Town 1.
Yeah, goal again, almost out of nothing, and I just feel down the flanks, City are really leaving themselves exposed. We spoke a bit about Rains on this right-hand side. This time it was on the left, and Chippenham racing forward, put that ball into the box, and Parsons, great header, really good goal from him.
Goal for Harry Parsons. He scored 3 in his last 5. That's his 5th of the season since returning for his 2nd spell on loan. He scored at Burton Albion in the FA Cup. Well, he's only on loan till next month. They want to extend it longer to Lines. Good footwork. Greenslade. This is good patient play from Bath City. And like thus far threatening the Chippenham back line. As Morton's find Rains in room on the right hand side. Now face from Jones. Still Rains. Hayfield's offering an overlapping run. Rains dinks it to the back post, but it's too high for Wilson. They're going to make the change right now. This is in the 37th minute. Joe Rains making way through injury, and Tom Smith will come on. As Hayfield heads away, only to Parsons near the edge of the box. Chippenham's goal scorer, twisting away from trouble. He's watched from Smith, left-hand side of the penalty area. Still Parsons, managed to find room with a curler! Excellent save from Gould. There's a frustration that he managed to get the shot in the first place as Greenslade hammers it out the other end of the field, floats it towards Richards, he gets a flick on, but not to great effect. City attacking down the right side with Mannings, who's got away from Russ with ease. Smith's making a run in front of him. Oh, he's played it behind him though. Smith had carried on his run and the pass was wayward as Mayhew picks it up, nutmegs Chris Lines. Plays over top, that's an excellent ball. Parsons could get on with this. Gould comes charging off his line in a very difficult situation. He did well, almost a diving header. Of course he couldn't collect it. Must have been a late shout from Gould because Parsons tried to take matters in his own hands to head it away, but it's worked out okay there with City, with Smith in the centre circle, now striding past halfway, finds Mannings on the right hand side. Ebanks and Wilson are waiting in the middle. Hayfield had made an adventurous run forward, but he's forced back to Lines now, 25 yards out, crosses it towards the far post, whereas Wilson heads it across and it's too close to Henry, who dives and gathers. Now back to Mayhew, midway inside the City half, squares it to Young. Turns away from Hayfield, now still Young, wants to get onto his left foot in the penalty area, 10 yards out, near the byline, he's worked his way across and in the end it flicks behind a pass out for a corner, but again that was a little bit too easy for me. As Young's now somehow managed to keep hold of the ball, squares it to Parsons, central, superb footwork, he's still going near the edge of the penalty area, but he can't quite make room for himself. Still Parsons, is charged down in the end from Dyer, and that's away from Lines, and that's a yellow card for Luke Ross, if ever I saw one. The ref goes yellow card out instantly, and not for the first time. He's going to go into the book. That'll be his 5th of the season for the Bristolian. Hayfield squares it to Lines. Greenslade trying to make an overlapping run. Middle inside the Chippenham half at the moment. Lines, but Young's got back, and now City are caught a little bit, but it doesn't matter because that's the end of the first half. Whereas Bath City 1, Chippenham 1. Over the top. Dyer clambered all over Parsons there, but not enough to warrant a foul. Mayhew picks it up midway inside the City half. He's almost run into the referee there, but they get away with it. It's now with Eddie Jones on the left-hand side, receives it off Bray, turns inside now, inside of the penalty area with it. Ball takes a huge deflection and goes behind for a corner to the Bluebirds.
3rd of the afternoon.
As I say, Leighton Tuodolu, he's an academy product. He's also been on the books of Poulton, Slimbridge and Yate. They've got Aaron Simpson still on the sidelines, who might return for New Year's Day. He's from a Love Island contestant. Make of that what you will. Less said about that, the better. The corner's about to come in from Santos. Looking for Hamilton, he scored! Spencer Hamilton has his first ever league goal for Chippenham Town. It was a decent delivery from the Brazilian and comfortably headed home from 6 yards out. The Chippenham fans are going potty behind the goal. They have the lead in the 54th minute. Bath City 1, Chippenham Town 2.
Well, if you want to know how to take a corner, that was it. Curving in, Hamilton met it with his head and real pace. It went past Gould in the City goal, and to be fair to the City keeper, he stood absolutely no chance with that. Hamilton getting almost the perfect glance on it, and if there's a query, the query must be about why the City defence weren't managing to mark Hamilton better.
Well, they obviously thought he wasn't a threat because he didn't chip in with many.
It was a great header.
Oh yeah, thumping header into the roof of the net. Haven't won here since 2017, of course, as line slips. Oh, he runs a free kick though. He's getting a bit of a trip from Parsons, who doesn't agree.
Noticeable that Chippenham are playing much more of a pressing game in this half.
Mannings, he's escaped to Ōdōlō on the right-hand side, squares it, but it's no good for Wilson. It's now picked up on the loose ball. Is Hayfield charging near the byline, and his cross takes a hefty deflection off Russ and goes behind the corner. That was good pressing from the Romans then.
Yeah, City's first corner of the match.
Is Greenslade, now escape from a couple of Chippenham men. Central, the former Bluebirds players. Now finds Smith in room on the right-hand side. That's got the crowd going. Smith sends it in the middle, just behind Ebanks and Wilson. It's half cleared. Mayhew's header back. A little bit risky for Russ, but he thumps it up the other end of the field as Parcell and Parsons get into a bit of a medal, and the referee decides that Parcell appended the Chippenham man.
Chippenham players surging forward, alleging that Parcell stopped the last man.
Well, it's not that, it's about 45 yards from goal, so I wouldn't say he's denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity. It looked more like a bit of a tangle to me. I think he might get a yellow though. It's been our only ever present this season. He made nearly 150 appearances with Chippenham as Mayhew takes this free kick towards the corner of the penalty area to Richards. He's lost out. He wins a challenge back off Smith. Now it's Young, left-hand side near the edge of the penalty area. Headed away. It's a volley from Mayhew and comfortably into the hands of Josh Gould. I think he and Tizard going each other's way. And it's back with Chippenham now. Young, who among everything and with many attributes, got excellent ball control. He plucked on at the air there as Smith goes lunging in. I think he might get a talking to.
He'd be lucky to get away without a yellow card. He went in on the back of the play.
It was Gray who was brought down. Yeah, I think Smith, who has picked up the odd yellow card in this, which he did in the flare-up on this near side last year. This time it's on the far side of the pitch. From the bottom side, and City get another man in the book. Santos is offering an option on the right-hand side. Manages to find him. Santos, the good ball. Now Mayhew, this is lovely from Chippenham. It's Parsons trying to make room for a shot. He does, it's blocked. Young near the edge of the penalty area. Plays it back to Russ. Chippenham still finding room. Mayhew on the right-hand side, wide of the penalty area. He's gone back to Young. City have got plenty of men back to try and deal with this attack, and good, fair Derby Day challenge between Mannings and Mayhew. Man City back in possession now with Greenslade. Smith's in a lot of room on the right-hand side. He elects to use him. Tries to pick out the player, but Ōdōlō gets enough of his long hair on it. Wilson somehow manages to squeeze in between two players. Now Lines, Hayfield on the right-hand side. Smith's making a run up in front of him. Back to Lines, midway inside the Chippenham half. Chippenham lead by 2-1. City's 8-game unbeaten run in jeopardy in the A4 derby, but not at the moment. Hayfield shoots into the side netting. It was a difficult angle, and he went for glory.
And Sonny Cox rapidly putting his shirt off. And Manning is coming off, as you say. He played his part in that first goal, but since then, not exactly done a lot. And 66 minutes, well, Sonny Cox is going to have a good amount of time to prove himself.
He's got the ball now on the right-hand side, holding off to Ōdōlō. Plays it back to Hayfield. Forced in the right back because of the injury to Joe Rains. Dyer trying to join the attack down the right-hand side. It's played back across. Wilson brings under the 6-yard box, but not fully, and Hamilton was there to thump it up the other end of the field. They've clearly watched them back, realised their mistakes and tried to eradicate them. And now there's Cox down the right-hand side. He's got away from Ōdōlō. Oh, it's a heavy touch from Cox, and Mikey been playing on the right side, and the fullback slides in. Had he not pushed it so far in front of himself, that would have been a good opportunity. Dyer is up. Replicate his goal against them last Boxing Day. Oh, and it looked like a poor delivery actually from Lines, but it sort of suddenly veered nervously for Henry towards his own goal, and he's forced to tip it over. Lines this time is in the penalty area. It's an awkward one, there's a whole posse of bodies around there, but Chippenham in the end can play their way out of trouble. Young was very calm actually. He's now found Santos on the left-hand side. Smith is keeping check with him. Smith's on a yellow, so he can't do anything too severe, but good ball up to Mayhew. Now Young takes it off him, and Mayhew again. Chippenham could be in here. Parsons is in behind, and he's ballooned it. He was offside anyway. He's ballooned it way over. Well, Richard, who is in the second spell here, he returned from Australia. He was briefly, he's got history. He scored in this fixture in 2017, Chippenham's last win over Bow City, although that's going to come to an end today. The way this game is going is, again, sloppy with Smith in attack. Now Young can try and exploit it on the right-hand side. got Parsons waiting in the middle. Young might want to go alone. He's still going Jordan Young. He's still going Jordan Young. He shoots, and he has scored. It was one run from one end of the pitch to the other. Gould could only get his gloves to help it into the top corner of the net. I'm pretty sure that's wrapped up this game in Chippenham's favour. Bath City 1, Chippenham 3.
Yeah, and with just 5 minutes to go, you can't see City coming back from that. And Jordan Young, he was looking at his options. He ran across the 18-yard line. First of all, he looked like he was going to pass, then gradually turned to one side and shot, pulled it back across goal, and Gould unable to get to it, diving to his left-hand side. And Chippenham, who haven't won away since last season, look like they're about to register their first victory, and for them, what sweeter victory could it be than one over their local rivals?
He's deserved a goal today, Jordan Young, you have to say. I think he has been excellent. He works hard, he's strong, got good balance, and he showed it all in abundance there. That's his 4th league goal of the season. Lines to take this corner. You feel they have to score here. They've got a glimmer of a chance. It's a hanging one. Parcells beaten in. Oh, what a volley that was from Frey, and it was blocked from a crowd of bodies. Now worked out to Lines again on the right-hand side via Morton. Lines trying to make room. Hayfield should keep it in play. Oh, he doesn't keep it in play by the byline. It looked like a clever threaded pass. Watched from Young, who's now going to do some defensive duties. Freer gets a ball in. Only half clear. Greenstade's gone down, and referee tells him to get straight back to his feet. Mayhew was there with him. I didn't see too much in it, and it's now with Hanks on the right-hand side. Plays it inside to Mayhew. Chippenham might want to add further sweetness to what appears to be 3 points where he's lost out, and Parsal picks it up. Now Freer on the left tries to get away from Hamilton. Intricate, incisive, good footwork from Frigg. Gets it back from the byline. Not fully cleared. It's Hayfield on the edge of the box. Has to lay it off there because he's charged down to Morton. Left-footed curler straight in the hands of Henry, who nearly fumbled it for the 2nd time this afternoon, but this time he's able to grasp. Decent long ball, but Tuodolo was underneath it and cleared. He's come on in difficult circumstances, but has performed admirably in fullback, not his natural position on the left, as Mayhew and Wilson. Well, Morton went in, as did Wilson on Mayhew. I think it's just going to be a yellow card. And, well, Hanks is always keen to get involved with the Bath City players. He's straight up there in the faces, not what he needs. I think Morton, it was a bit of a rush of blood. I think a yellow card is about right. And indeed it is for James Morton. That's his 3rd of the season. Matt Kubu, who picked up many a yellow card as a Bath City player, is now going to pick one up against Bath City from the dugout. I think you can cope with one of them being out of the team, 2 of them being out of the team, and, well, you're stuffed, frankly, putting it mildly.
And to be fair, not just that, but also Callum Ebanks, who we said was coming into form, got a virus, he's had to go off, and also then you lose Joe Rains. So, you know, you're losing some fairly decisive players in a key fixture.
And that's the end of this key fixture. Chippenham Town deservedly run out 3-1 winners at Bath City. City had taken the lead through Scott Wilson on 25 minutes. Chippenham quickly hit back through Harry Parsons 3 minutes later, and then second half goals from Spencer Hamilton and Jordan Young wrap it up. Bath City simply were not at the races today, and hopefully they will turn it around for the return fixture on New Year's Day at Harding Hewish Park. It's the first time Jericho has tasted defeat in this fixture. We said how they're missing some important players. They need to get them back pretty swiftly. And Andrew Kerslake, your thoughts on this one before we go through full times later?
Yeah, not a huge amount to add from what Mark has said, but just reviewing that game overall, City did start brightly. The opening 5 minutes certainly belonged to them, and it was Chippenham that looked really nervous. City opened their account on 25 minutes. Rex Manning putting the ball across in a rather speculative shot, which Young in the Chippenham goal couldn't hold, only managed to push it away, and Wilson coming in scored for City. 3 minutes later, though, they were level. Pearson, a great header as the ball was played in from Chippenham's right-hand side. Really good flashing header. And again, City, little chance of anybody stopping that in the City goal. And goal dived for it, but not even close. So 1-1 at that point, and although no more goals scored before half-time, you felt Chippenham were coming into the ascendancy. They began to play some nice football. That goal, you feel, had given them a lot of confidence. Well, if they needed confidence, it came early in the second half, A ball played in from the right-hand side, from the left-hand side, from a corner, and Hamilton, the captain of Chippenham, an absolutely superb header, got real power on it, putting the ball in the back of the net, and City were behind. And then the clincher came just 5 minutes before the end, Jordan Young scoring to make an eventual scoreline of 3-1. And as Mark has already said, Jerry Gill's first ever defeat in an A4 derby. It's Chippenham's first away win this season, and you have to say it was a win that was deserved. They've gone over to acknowledge their fans, and really a fair result this afternoon.
It's actually the first time in National League South they conceded the first goal and then come back to win. The first time they've done that in the league since March 2017, and they had to go and do it here, didn't they?
Well, City going down this afternoon. As Mark mentioned, there will be a game on Thursday, home here against Worthing, before the return match at Hartlepool Park against Chippenham on New Year's Day. Thanks very much for being with us this afternoon. Sorry that we couldn't deliver you scoreline you like. Bath City going down 3-1 this afternoon, but we do look forward to you joining us both on Thursday or on New Year's Day